RNA-sequencing rapidly gets information into the hands of physicians.
Do you have revenues?
We did about 4 million in the last half of 2020.
Are you profitable?
80%.
That's a great margin. You could expand your footprint.
Congratulations on what looks like a really promising technology.
Do you like science? Is medicine your passion? Then I think the pitch is for you. My name is Robin Young. I was a medical technology analyst for 30 years. If you've never seen how medical breakthroughs get from the lab to the patient, I think you would be amazed and astonished. For me, it's the most thrilling experience you can imagine. So I invited a group of the most interesting medical breakthrough companies I know to pitch their science, their vision, their passion to 4 really smart and experienced investors, engineers, physicians, and consultants. These companies are small, but they are the real deal. At their stage of development, they could appear to be ugly ducklings, but they could also be future swans. Can you spot a future winner? If you like this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Visit me at www.ryortho.com. But most of all, support the entrepreneurs you will meet on The Pitch. Thank you.
Imagine a technology and service that could provide physicians with a highly specific, rapid diagnostic test for the management of challenging musculoskeletal infections. So with such a sensitive RNA-based test, could our first company presenter alter the course of debilitating disease? Welcome, everybody. Welcome to The Pitch. My name is Scott Bruder. I'll be your moderator for tonight's program. Let's listen to the pitch of Dr. Alexander Shope with Contamination Source Identification.
We investigate the cause of infectious disease. CSI is an advanced diagnostic laboratory set to revolutionize the diagnosis of infectious disease through novel IP, rapid turnaround times, and unparalleled antibiotic resistance data. Our proprietary system uses a blind, simultaneous analysis for all causes of an infection. The CSI-Dx platform is focused on RNA sequencing. Here at CSI, we have done what nobody else has, and we have figured out how to mute the human RNA signal, which typically overwhelms the pathogenic RNA signal. By muting this signal and focusing on the pathogen's RNA signal, we're able to identify only the active causes of the infection. This allows us to rapidly get information into the hands of physicians, which allows them to make therapeutic choices and better patient outcomes. We are a turnkey solution that is fully vertically integrated without any outsourcing of any portion of our process. By employing best-in-class robotics and sequencing equipment and combining it with a customized sample tracking system, CSI is the solution that will usher in true precision medicine in infectious disease. CSI is set to redefine the gold standard of infectious disease diagnostics.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Shope. So if I could ask the panelists to turn on your microphones and your videos. We'll start with our Q&A. And Anthony, can you start us off today?
That'd be wonderful. Thank you very much, Scott. It's a pleasure and a delight to be together with my fellow panel members, and very much appreciate the opportunity. Dr. Shope, excellent presentation. I think you communicated a very big opportunity for a need that is not currently met in a very good manner. Do you have revenues?
We had revenues from COVID. We did about 4 million in the last half of 2020. Tick-borne disease and should be revenue generation in 2022. We want to do published studies for tick-borne. That's a wild card with regard to how much revenue that will generate in 2022.
Thank you very much, Tony. We'll turn this to Mike, and remember that we each will have an opportunity for a follow-up after we all go around once. So thank you so much. Mike.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Scott, and thank you, Dr. Shope. So my question is how do you expect to quantify the clinical benefit of this technology over the existing technologies, or how will you quantify that and articulate it? And because I think that's really going to be the part of the value proposition of this business.
No, you're absolutely right. And I mean, the truth in infectious disease diagnostics is that we're still kind of back in the Stone Ages. The gold standard is still culture-based. You look at pretty much every disease state, it's culture-based. The only things that have really moved forward in molecular diagnostics are then DNA-based, whether it's sequencing or PCR, but that doesn't give you actual information on what's truly alive in a sample from a patient. So while you have a better guess versus nothing, you're really not getting specific information. Our technology only provides information on things that are alive and actively replicating. But in addition to that, it shows you information regarding the active antibiotic resistances that they're demonstrating, which allows us to give more specific recommendations or information for better treatment choices.
Thank you very much, Mike. Terrific. Good questions. And let's move on to Audrey now. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. So thinking short-term and longer term, what are the physical aspects of what you're selling? Are you selling lab services, equipment, process, licensing your process? What specifically are you selling, and for how much and to whom?
So we're selling our laboratory services. We are a CLIA certified diagnostic laboratory. For our first vertical, the tick-borne, because that is first up, we're actually going to be going out of pocket. We've done some market analysis and found that we're going to be able to undercut the current cost of some of those tests. So these patients that are suffering from chronic undiagnosed tick-borne illnesses are able to get a better diagnosis and a better analysis of their sample. We're looking at a price point of approximately $500. Comparables out there of older technologies that are not as good is in the ballpark of $1,200 to $1,500.
So this would be testing that's proprietary to your lab and your lab only. Do I understand that correctly?
That is correct, yes.
Yes, we have patent applications for not only, again, we are the only vertically integrated lab where we do all our wet lab work, all our computational, we have patents on the wet lab work, or patent submissions on the wet lab work, as well as the bioinformatics and the computational reporting process.
Okay. I'm glad you brought up the patents. How many do you have filed and maybe approved?
None approved.
They're in process right now, but we have what's the first one on the wet lab side? That is, how many claim sets do we have?
I think 3 claim sets.
3 claim sets, summing up about a total of 50 different claims there that we feel very strongly about. And I actually forget how many claims are in the bioinformatics side of things, but.
All right, no, well, one thing you have to realize is this is our jump into the deep end of the pool here. We have been purposely using provisional patents and staying under the radar screen. This is our first jump out into the public domain. We have a lot of publications coming with regard to not only our clinical, but our analytical validations. And so here we come.
Thank you very much, Audrey. Okay, I have a couple of questions, and for those that follow, you can expect my questions to be more clinical, scientific, and regulatory based. But I'd like to get a better understanding about sample acquisition, because this is often an unappreciated element of clinical diagnostics, especially in infectious diseases. So are you taking tissue samples, aspirations, biopsies, or are you thinking that you're going to be able to access this through peripheral blood?
Actually, all of the above. We can perform this type of technique on any sample matrix. Currently, our tick-borne analysis is actually a urine-based test. We've also the synovial fluid and blood samples for our first orthopedic study, which is under peer review right now. We were able to do that analysis and detection in both of those as well. So we see that as maybe being disease specific as we move forward here, and we will parse it out, but we can do blood-based analysis with this.
Okay, very good. I have one more question, and that is about the business model, because as you know, there are giant installed platforms, both in the hospitals and labs like LabCorp and Quidel, and some companies with new technologies like yours try to monetize their technology by menu expansion. And you could expand your footprint of available testing if you got into Quidel or one of these other LabCorp, even a hospital-based system. Do you think that you can modify your assay so that it can be run locally?
That's not the aspirations presently. We realize we're a small startup company.
I'd like to thank you both. And now it's the opportunity to ask the audience, what do you think? So from what you've heard, is CSI going to be a winner and game changer here in the field? Or does the company need to go back to the drawing board? Two extremes. So register your opinion on the poll and we'll share the results in less than a minute. So what I can tell you is that the predominance here, 39% think that you have the possibility of changing the standard of care. So that should be pretty encouraging. Still, there's another 39% that think it needs more work. There's something here, but it's hard to see. And a fifth think that you're a game changer. Audrey, you have some commentary on what you think their next key challenges are?
First, just congratulations on what looks like a really promising technology. I'm intrigued by your longer-term plan to potentially license this to other labs, other providers, to expand the availability of it. But the short-term question that I have is, especially with your pricing being a little bit less than comparables today, what kind of margin are you expecting?
80%.
80%, thank you.
That's a great margin. So, Mike, how about you?
Well, I wonder if focusing on an individual vertical would be a smarter path to get one, solid success, drive the reputation of the organization, and it would allow you to focus more heavily in one sector. And I don't know if it'll affect the way you distribute the product. We didn't talk much about how you get this product to the masses, but I think possibly focus on a single vertical might be something to consider, and then move to the others.
Thank you, Mike. Terrific. Well, having now completed at least our first pitch, I'd like to congratulate you as well as reflect on the comments from the rest of my esteemed panel. I think you've got some good perspective here, some challenges, some opportunities. From my viewpoint, I think it would make sense to engage early with potential partners as you think about modifications to your assay that can run on their various platforms, whether you're talking about Fisher or BD or some other company. You have to make some modifications to the platform, but I think you're onto something and you have a pretty good opportunity. So this was really very interesting. And if anyone would like to contact the company, here's the information that you'll need. I can tell you, if you just search the company online, you can find them as well. So congratulations on that effort. Fantastic. Thank you again.